Good evening and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here we are on day 264. I'm continuing the story of the Goose Girl, who, when I last left off the story, had met with the king, who had asked her to tell him her story, because the boy that she'd been going out to tend the geese with had come back and told the king everything that had happened. So the king knew there was a deeper story here and wanted to know what it was, but the princess wouldn't tell him, the true princess, because she had sworn that she would not, and she was afraid that she would die. So the king said to tell the stove, and at least she would get it out that way. He left the room, and he went up to the stovepipe where it came out of the roof. And as the true princess told the whole story of what had happened, the king was listening. It was clear to him from the very beginning that she had a regal air about her. He had wondered what the real story was. Now, the king, keeping this knowledge to himself that evening, the next day went to the false princess and described a situation that would be very similar to what the truth was about the story of the Goose Girl. And the king asked, if I were to pass judgment on someone who had behaved in this way, what would you suggest? What would you suggest I should do to punish a person like this? Well, the false princess said, if I ran into somebody like that, I would take a barrel and pierce it on all sides with nails, and I would put that person within that barrel, tightly close the lid, and place it into a river where there was a waterfall. And I would send that person down that river in that barrel. That is what they would deserve. The king said, fine. Then that is what you shall experience. And revealing all to his son, the prince, and the false princess, of course, eyes open wide, could not believe that her story had gotten out. But as is the case with people who have done something, there is no hiding from the truth. It is clear. She was put in a barrel and set into a river where there was a high waterfall. The Goose Girl? Well, you can imagine what happened, I'm sure. Happily ever after? Maybe. But the truth is that she did marry the prince, and the two of them reigned over a large kingdom until their lives had ended. And as far as I know, their descendants are still living amongst us to this very day. And that's the story of the Goose Girl.